Let's move on to another one that we're gonna both like, I think. So I want to thank you I want to say thank you to the second Ryan B of the evening, which is so weird and ironic that we have two Ryan Bs. This is Mr. Ryan Baker. We're gonna bring in. This is gonna be our featured artist of the week. As everybody knows, we like to feature one artist per week. And we try to pick the highest quality, artists and musicians that we've seen or come across online the past week or weeks or months. And I've been talking to Ryan Baker for a couple months now, and I was glad he actually got back in touch with me about having this feature. So here, Ryan Baker from Las Vegas, Mr. Jazz Singer. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Joe. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for being patient and hanging out with us. You've been hanging out with us for almost an hour now. So
it's good times. Yeah.
Cool. So you just came out with a new project, right? Why don't you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, it's an album of primarily jazz standards. It's 15 tracks. 14 of them are
cool.
Just songs from the Great American Songbook with original jazz arrangements. It's a small group with a guitar trio. And some horns and a piano on about 5 of the tracks. And there's one original that was written by 2 friends of mine. One is Joe Lano, who's the guitarist, and he wrote all the arrangements, but he also wrote the original song. It's called Little Beth. And my friend Brace Phillips, he's a bass player. These guys have both played in Vegas for 40 years with you name it, Frank Dean. All the big ones came through here, and these guys have played them. So. And they both wrote that original song, but the rest are just, my favorite songs, just from, the 20th century, 30s, 40s, that golden age of songwriting, jazz standards.
Definitely. Cool. So like you gig a lot too, right? Being in Vegas, do you hit the Vegas scene pretty much all the time, or what's your gigging schedule like?
Yeah, well, as much as I can. I mean, I do a few different things, and for years, I was primarily involved with production shows, which I still do. One called Shades of Sinatra, which I helped create, and that's a tribute to Frank's music when he'll sing his songs. And then I've also been involved in a couple of Rat Pack shows.
Cool.
One that's just toured all over North America, and so that's where I've actually played Frank Sinatra on stage. But otherwise, as far as the jazz stuff. I do that all different places, local places in town, with a trio usually, or for corporate events, things like that, or restaurants, venues like that. So,
sure, of course, awesome. Dave, you got anything to ask Mr. Baker before we listen to his song "Caravan"?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, so you were saying, like the song "Caravan." I'm a huge jazz fan. I've said this before. I love it. I love your stuff. The song Caravan is actually, it's a pretty common song name with jazz artists. So was this a cover? Like, is Caravan a cover?
Well, in a sense, these songs have been covers since they were written. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
I'm probably about the 5,000 or 6,000 person to sing Caravan or
but like it's not just jazz. It's like Fish has a song called Caravan. It's like it doesn't sound anything like other jazz standards. It's just like it's kind of a common song name, I think, that kind of floats around. But
the name
Ryan, let's talk more after we play the song. Let's patch in the song and let people listen, and let's talk afterwards. Rob.
Night and stars above that shine so bright, the mystery of their fading light that shines upon our caravan. Sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand so I may keep the memory of our caravan. This is so exciting, you are so inviting, resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic charms of you. Beside me here beneath the blue, Our dream of love is coming true within a desert caravan. This is so exciting, you are so inviting, resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic charms of you. Beside me here beneath the blue.
So that was Ryan Baker with his song Caravan. Was that the world premiere of that performance, or has that song been around for a while?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, the song's been around since 1936, but
Right.
my version's only been out for a few months, and it's been on maybe an internet radio show, one or two terrestrial outlets, but I mean, it might as well be the world premiere.
Okay, I got some
Right.
questions for you. So, like the whole recording of this, is that all members from your band, or was it studio musicians, or who played all the parts here?
Well, they're my band for this album, but I mean, it wasn't. It's the guitar trio that makes up the core of the group is our three guys I've worked with several times before this, and as I said, the guitar player wrote all the arrangements, but he and I together picked out the musicians. There's six guys. There's the guitar trio, guitar, bass, drums, piano on some, sax or flute on a few, and trumpet, flugelhorn on a couple.
Yeah, I mean, the sax, the tenor sax was a big highlight in this one. I mean, all you guys, every instrument was extremely talented. I loved it. Just every part of it. I like your voice. It's smooth. The whole. I'll ask like the whole crooner thing. So obviously people listen, they're like, yeah, Sinatra. I'm going all the way back to Bobby Darin, when I'm listening to you, and probably more recently, Michael Bublé. So, but what made you want to be a jazz crooner? Like, who are your influences? What? Tell us about that.
I think Sinatra was my angle into it. I mean, I was originally almost solely doing Frank Sinatra material with Frank's arrangements, with bands and shows and stuff. It was a tribute act impersonator gig. And, over the years, you do all different kinds of gigs where you need to just sing for 4 hours with a trio, and it's not, you can't just do, Flying to the Moon and Lazy Tramp the whole time. So
Back the knife, yeah.
So
So,
you can't might get beat up.
yeah. But in the beginning, Ryan, so if you were doing like a lot of Frank Sinatra covers, when you first started, were you trying to sound like Frank Sinatra when you sang?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so at what point did you start to make your performance your own voice? That's probably the best question I have for you today.
Well, I thought it was an excellent question. Yeah. I think it's really so many people. I think so many singers, especially, but players as well, are in a sense a collection of their influences. So I mean, most of the time, if I hear a singer, I can hear about 3 or 4 main influences, probably 1 or 2 that are the core, and then. So it's really like you. I've loved jazz music for my whole life since I was a kid. So I mean, after a while, just hearing so many different people, especially doing the same song, like you were saying about being covered by so many people, you get to hear so many different takes and different angles on it that it just sort of informs the way you feel about kind of certain chord changes, certain songs, certain vibes, tempos. And I think it's just like it's a accumulation of all that over time.
Yeah, Joe.
That's why I liked you, Ryan Baker. Is I'm a jazz guy myself. I love to play pop and R&B and stuff. But in college I was into jazz. I had to know lots about music theory and and the thing about the jazz singer thing, like what you do is like, yes, people have done these songs 1,000,001 times, and they're all, like you said, been around for years and years and years. But the thing that makes you indie and original, what you're doing, is the way you do it, you know, because there's nobody that's done it like that before, unless you're copying somebody note for note. And after doing those songs for so many years, you get to do your own, you get to develop your own chops around it, your own licks and stuff. And you have a really great sound, dude. Like your
thanks.
and everything is a lot of the guys that spend 40 years in Vegas singing or in New York or whatever, they may do a project here and there, but it's hard for them to put out a full-length, really well-produced project like this.
It certainly was. Well, yeah. I mean, when you talk about how many different people have done these songs before, I mean, there's a freedom to it's a double-edged kind of thing. There's a freedom to it because there's almost infinite ways to get from A to B as far as chord changes and getting the melody of the song. And the arrangements I had were so amazing that Joe wrote that those kind of just led me in a great direction. I could just really feed off those, but it's daunting when you think about, like, who the hell am I to sing this song? It's like this song has been going about almost 100 years, and all the greatest jazz singers or even other singers who have done this song already. So it's kind of like there's not a lot of left on that apple.
But hey, Matt, who are you? You're Ryan Baker, and I love it, Matt. So, like, where can people find you? Where can people, like, check you out online? Where's your
actually, real quick before you do that, Ryan, Dave, sorry to interrupt you, but we actually have a couple people. Gail said she followed you on Twitter. Jenny Q actually had a question for you, Ryan. She said, do you perform on live streaming?
I haven't so far, but I'm kind of getting up to speed with a lot of this stuff. I mean, I've been doing a lot of Twitter stuff lately, but that's kind of a newer development that's mostly coincide with this project. So I'm kind of ramping up on all the so many different social media online things, but that's why I like doing stuff like this. This is really cool to be a part of, and I'm trying to do a lot more of this stuff going forward.
People would love you on Periscope. People would love you on Facebook Live. So think about it seriously. Whenever you do your next performance, put your phone or your tablet or whatever, just set it out and let people watch, and you'll be surprised.
Right. I got friends who've done that. Yeah, it does look fun. Yeah, fun.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna let you go, Ryan. Why don't you shout out who you want to shout out? Let us know where we can find you, your music, and all that stuff, and then we will let you go.
Well, it's I'm on Facebook as well as Twitter. The handle is Real Ryan Baker, and I'm also the album Timeless Again is available on iTunes, Amazon, digital download. Also for the physical CD, you can get at my website. It's ryanbakersings.com or CD Baby. And otherwise, YouTube, Instagram.
Awesome. We already booked you another live streaming show. Jenny Q says she wants to have you on your show. So on her show, sorry. So get in touch with Jenny Q. She'll be easy to find. Just find her on Twitter and stuff. And if you need help, I'll help you. So Ryan, thank you very much for being patient, dude. You've been hanging out with us for like an hour, so we're going to see you later. We're going to go on to